Good morning and welcome to all. I am honored to be here as a member of the Bobcat Nation and as a U.S. Air Force Special Operations veteran. When I began to think about what I would talk about today, I reflected on my life during my military career and the events 15 years ago. One thing became very clear. I was proud to be an American Airman, and I was proud to wear the uniform. The subsequent days that followed 9/11 unfolded many miraculous events. Documented reports of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. People like Welles Crowder, who led people out of the World Trade Center. He is credited with saving many lives. The surprising thing is that he repeated this feat a few times, leading people to safety. With the declaration of, "I'm going back up," the man with the red bandana entered the tower and helped many until his ultimate sacrifice was made. He was later found still wearing the bandana and lifeless. But his spirit lives on. It lives on in the people who tells his story. When we are faced with the moment to rise to the occasion, many people without prompting moved forward for the betterment of others. September 11th was a day America was, as a whole, faced with a choice. We were attacked, but in the succeeding days, we stood up. We stood together. I remember the feeling during the days that followed. I was given directions to prepare with my unit to go make right the wrong that we had been dealt. I recall it and how it, not a matter of what uniform you wore, there was a kinship of sorts between military branches, emergency personnel, first responders, and policemen. For the first time in my life, I remember thinking that there was no focus on the things that really didn't matter. No one was concerned about my skin color. No one worries about if I was a man or a woman, whether I was rich or poor. We were united. On 9/10, we were divided. On 9/11, we were decimated. But on 9/12, we became something else. We became united. United, that's an interesting word. It means to combine into or made one, to be in agreement or harmony. To quote Lee Greenwood, I was proud to be an American. It is amazing to me that the students here on this campus learn of the attacks of September 11 as a lesson, not as a life experience. For some of us, that means the aging process is real. To the young people that are here in charge with taking leadership, here's my question to you. When you are faced with the moment to be more, will you step forward and lead? I work here and interact with you daily. I see the future, and I am not like most people who feels that you millennials are lost. I see Catherine Butcher, Doriana Dotson, Zane Winkler, and Adam Vu. I know Gabrielle Crooks, Grant Piegler, and Laura Aarons are ready to learn right here at Georgia College how to grow into leaders. With that being said, I would ask that you look around at the current leadership here in our local area. Find out what examples of wisdom they offer. Get in the presence of the gems of greatness Milledgeville and Georgia College have to offer. Find the Frank Pendergrass, the Marilyn Simmons, and the Jason Latimers that quietly support our community. Seek out the Professor Butlers, Dr. Christensen's, and Kyle Cullers of our world. There are many examples of people right here that are involved and work to be better. I issue a challenge to be more. Be prepared for that moment to do more. That the moment when you are called upon to answer the call, be sure to be ready. Engage your community. Meet someone new and step outside of your norm. We are at an important time in our history. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but I truly believe we are going to pivot. We hear things in the media and sometimes tend to drink the Kool-Aid. I encourage everyone to take a few minutes and think. Don't rush to judgment, as sometimes things are not always as they appear. Caution yourself to not be conditioned by sensational propaganda designed to manipulate. Educate yourselves and determine the right course by knowing and understanding. I asked my son Cole if he remembers anything about September 11, 2001, thinking he would be too small to remember. His response, I remember the sirens and you leaving. I remember looking at him as he was 3 and wondering, what is this day going to do to his life? My family and many other military families at that time knew that we were going to deal with the challenges. Over the next few weeks, we would end up in various situations that strained the fabric of military member, wives, and children. That day changed much for us. Son, you know, and I think you understand what we privately faced. So for that, I thank you. Thank you also to all service members who sacrificed, who understood the sacrifice. Freedom has a price. And over the years, many have paid the ultimate price. From my personal friends, Elizabeth Caldwell, Greg Knoll, and Doug Couturier, to countless soldiers, seamen, airmen, Marines, emergency personnel, first responders, and policemen. To honor the fallen, some 108 million from the Revolutionary War to now. Wow, 108 million. In their honor, let's start here in Milledgeville. Let's do something positive. I request that everyone here pay it forward by doing one kind act for someone. One random act of kindness to honor those that gave for your liberties and freedoms. Find one stranger, one need, or one problem, and fix it. Fix it and be a beacon of hope like Wells Crowder's red bandana. In conclusion, I wonder what some key figures in history would think of us today. What would Dr. King think? What would Clara Barton think? Frederick Douglass or General Eisenhower? Would they be proud of what we have become? September 11th was a horrific day in our history. But over our existence, we have dealt with things, sometimes not as well, but we grew and we learned. I ask that we grow, learn, and never accept mediocrity. I ask that we strive to be something else. Since Cole was a baby, I've always told him that our Wilson family motto is, we can and we will. I ask that we live up to our country's name. We are not Americans. We are Americans. Let's be great. Thank you.